chemical, and spa cover orders. Stop by today at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to take home your free Flow Spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, also online at bonsallpool.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
What is Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Kasasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Kasasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Elway Power Sports of Lincoln is kicking off October with Can-Am side-by-side specials all month long. Are you ready to rule the terrain on a 2023 Can-Am Defender, Commander, or Maverick? You call the play and score big with rebates up to $1,500 or financing as low as 1.99% for 36 months. From an open road to the trails, there's a Can-Am side-by-side that's right for you, and Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has them all under one roof at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer ends October 31st, 2023. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Another day, another opportunity to come and find yourself on the block. When you step on the block, be prepared, because you never know what's going to go down. But I think I shared a lot of what's going to go down today. Welcome to On the Block 2 to 4. Each and every day right here is where you can find us. All streaming platforms are available to you to tap in. We love it when you guys interact with us, whether it be by stream on X, Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook. We love the opportunities to be able to connect with you, as well as those like the Rafter. The Rafters, I love it when he chimes in. That means I know he's attentive. He's like a freaking encyclopedia. We thank you guys as well. Thunder Collins always tapping in. Notorious B.I.B., Scar Guy, all you guys out there. John and Cortland, Mississippi Mud Dog. We love all you guys. And I'm not, even Nyla Boo, we appreciate it. A lot of you guys that are listening in, you guys are pretty consistent in chiming in the engagement of what's going on. Good show today. We also want to thank you to our sponsors and our loved ones at Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, where they are open today. 27th and Pine Lake. You can go out there and take and partake in the wonderful succulent meals of the day. They do mix them up. So, you might go in there and get meatloaf one day. You might go in there and get ribs. So it is pretty much a daily routine to where you can kind of go in there and try different types of foods. but it's all good. It's all wonderful. Boxster, what's going on with you today, man? You're once again, the man of the hour, the Tower of Power. You got multiple shows. You're on the captain. You're doing captain things, and you're also, doing happy hour things. Plus, the original OG back on the block. What's going on?
It's a little bit of a marathon for me the last couple of days, but happy to do it during the bye week. So, they don't want to give me too much to talk about, but still be able to come in here and talk to, the different folks at 93.7 The Ticket, to include yourself here on the block is a joy every day. And I like a little bit of rain. We got a little bit of rain. I can see that outside. So setting up to be a pretty good day. Got some hoops in last night. Going to try to go and hoop it up again tonight. So I've been doing pretty good.
So you decided to go ahead and get it in. I knew you were kind of pretty tired, but you said, I'm going to go ahead.
I'm going to run the marathon and then I'm going to go hoop.
All right. Let's get it started. We're also appreciative to the Allo VIP line as well. For VIP line is brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We're appreciative to them as well, as we're going to have Evan Bland joining us after this next segment. We have a pretty short segment, so we'll get to Evan Bland, and then we'll come back. And one of the things that I do definitely want to talk about, we'll start the conversation off, and that's, of course, our Southern brothers, and sisters, whatever. The Kansas Jayhawks, they dodged some major penalties. After a long investigation, they happened to get some downgraded penalties from level 1 to level 2. We'll talk a little bit about that. But my initial take is, it's just one of those things like that makes you say, Yeah. What's your initial take or thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for this for years. They've been doing this. This goes back to the FBI probe, and they're just, after the multi-year investigation, Kansas already had kind of self-imposed some things here and there. They're going to take away some wins from their season a few years ago, including Bill Self's wins and career win totals, which is a big deal at Kansas. Like, Kansas fans are not going to be happy about that. It's like taking wins away from Nebraska's all-time football list, or taking away from Tom Osborne if anything had happened like that. They're not going to enjoy that. But as far as actually impacting their program and postseason bans or anything like that, they get by, and it just makes you wonder, because there's clear favoritism. Did
you just say that?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Among the NCAA in these punishments, and so it's just kind of like we all expected. Kansas gets away without really anything that's going to impact their future.
Yeah, maybe we'll just keep this kind of short, because I mean, you said the quiet part out loud, basically. I mean, just be honest about it. I mean, those who are listening, let's just be real. That's what we try to do here, as well as WTF. We try to keep it real and keep some facts out there, because of the fact that they're they're one of the front runners of the Big 12 in basketball. Also, their football program is starting to emerge, and so they're starting to kind of get a little bit better. Leipold's doing some great things down there, but Bill Self and that Kansas Jayhawk basketball squad is usually one that's going to challenge you pretty much throughout the year. Now, when you look at that, you've got to consider that if that's anybody else, let's just run down. If that's Texas Tech, I would even venture to say if that's Oklahoma State, if that is Texas may get a bye. But if that's even maybe on the basketball side, even Oklahoma, definitely Iowa State. If it's any of those teams, Bach, I think they're going down. And this goes back to just the thing that I've talked about. Is the NCAA more bark than bite? Because to me, do you get rid of the entity? Because are they really doing anything? Because it seems as if they're just, securing the big bags, because they got to rely on them. I mean, the biggest budget moneymaker for the NCAA is what?
NCAA March Madness.
March Madness, yeah. Right? So if you punish, penalize, and, basically have punitive damage to the Kansas Jayhawk program, who is a mainstay, who is a big draw, who have travel well and have big followers, if you take them out of the mix and hurt their program for multiple years, so you're looking at maybe a 5 to minimum of maybe 4 to 6 years before a rebound if you significantly hinder the program. Because guess what? If there's some type of ban on their March Madness appearances or championship opportunities, kids of the day, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the transfer portal before you can even sneeze. So it's going to hinder your program,
especially at a level like if you get a Kansas
right?
Scholarship,
because
you might have a Duke or North Carolina, Arizona.
There you go.
Sort of offers.
So you feel me? You're quickly on the move.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a 4 to 6 year span before you can even recover. Then you've got to rebuild. You've got to start probably with the young fellas, raise them up with the projection that by the time they get to their junior or senior year, they're going to be there. So you have a solid foundation of just secure players, maybe not elite. And then once you're ready to get back in the mix, you go back out and get the big dogs, maybe put yourself back in the mix. So they don't want that.
Do you think that this investigation just lasted too long because it started pre-NIL? It's for somewhat like NIL type of payments. And then, now that we're in the NIL era, it would be weird to like really bring down the hammer on them, even though, but I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't legal at the time. And then the other thing is,
that's like me robbing the bank, but because, well, you could look at some cities today and some of the things that you can walk out the door with in today's, way of doing things. You can say, oh, yeah, that's like me robbing the bank. But at the same time, by the time I get to the judge, in front of the judge, after a long time of investigation, that I robbed the bank.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you don't know.
Yeah.
So I robbed the bank, but then I get before the judge and there's like, oh, yeah, that penalty is no longer the same penalty for you for robbing the bank. So you get to keep the money. And
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going
That's
to
crazy.
slap you on the wrist.
Yeah.
And that's all you get out of it. But remember, too, part of this original investigation was like between the big brands and some of the other schools in the shoe companies. Like there was talks with Adidas representatives about recruiting between Bill Self and all that stuff. Was like that's a bigger deal than just NIL came along to me. But I don't know what they could what they it's always hard to know what you could prove or what kind of what's in the midst of it. But I, like you, kind of look at this with the side eye and think, if this isn't Kansas, is there a heavier investigation? Is there a heavier penalty levied on the program? And you have to think so. But again, I know it's a slap on the wrist, but all-time wins and taking wins away, because I think they took the wins away from their 31-8 team, I believe, in the year 2019. And that's going to be a big deal at Kansas because they are, they look every year and every game by game on who's on the all-time wins list and how Bill Self's comparing in those. So it's something that's going to kind of blemish Bill Self's career a little bit as well. But again, without it actually impacting the game too much, it's just going to be kind of a side note.
Yeah, there you go. What's your thoughts? 402-464-5685. There was a show on Netflix out some time ago, How to Get Away with Murder. It was a really good show. If you hadn't seen it, it was a pretty good show. Then it got kind of kooky, but I dug into it. But How to Get Away with Murder. Did the Kansas Jayhawks literally just get away with, heavy penalties similar to that show? And, or, is it just part of the landscape of the day? Trying to preserve the Kansas Jayhawks. What's your thoughts, though? What do you think? Are you side-eyeing it? Are you rolling your eyes on it? Or are you just like, oh, it is what it is? We'd love to hear from you. 402-464-5685. We're going to get to Evan Bland, talk all things Huskers when we get back. Fall baseball scrimmages have begun. Obviously, it's a bye week for football. May get into some volleyball, but it's going to be all things Huskers. We'll get back with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald as soon as we get back. 937 The Ticket on the block. We'll be right back.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
October is full of sports, with football and volleyball reaching mid-season and basketball and winter sports starting up. All the excitement of the games brings major stress, and stress causes tight muscles and pain. It's time to call the Body Shop, your place in Lincoln for all types of massages: deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Eliminate the pain from sports watching stress today with a massage at the Body Shop at 48th and A and online at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln is kicking off October with Can-Am side-by-side specials all month long. Are you ready to rule the terrain on a 2023 Can-Am Defender, Commander, or Maverick? You call the play and score big with rebates up to $1,500 or financing as low as 1.99% for 36 months. From an open road to the trails, there's a Can-Am side-by-side that's right for you, and Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has them all under one roof at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer ends October 31st, 2023. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action: the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days: $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Fuhrer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
Relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers' 118th anniversary sale is going on right now. This sale only comes around once a year, so don't miss your chance to save 20% or more on everything diamond. Bridal and engagement rings, bracelets, earrings, and all diamond jewelry, 20% off or more. Our lowest prices of the year, now through October 25th, only at Sutter Heyman's 118th anniversary sale. Lincoln and Grand Island or SutterHeyman.com.
What is Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Kasasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Kasasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Great news. I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Call your local State Farm agent Vinny Krekak at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back on the block, Strick. On the block with Strick and Bach. There he is. It rhymes, it fits, it is the original OG. Back together once again. We don't know how long it is. Nick, shout out to Nick. Shout out to Austin, who is probably got the googly eyes now because of the fact that he's been probably up for 12 hours, 13 hours.
Yeah.
No sleep. You know how that is. You've had the little fellas.
Yeah.
The little fella, the little boxster running around. And shout out to Nick. We hope you get well soon. Nick Sainerd, we love you, man. We miss you, and we'll see you soon. Now, Evan Bland will be joining us here on the Allo VIP line once again. Hey, Evan Bland, what's going on? We got all things Huskers we're going to talk about with you today, man. How are you?
Can't wait. Yeah, doing well. How's it going?
Well, man, it's always a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk to you because we know your insight and your wisdom on the topics at hand are always pleasurable to the listening ear of our listeners here on the block, so we're appreciative of that. Check it out, man. You wrote a good story. Put out a good tweet about Prince Amukamara and some of the stories that he had, how he boxed with Ndamukong Suh and, asked for Katy Perry to get a picture with her. But even now that he's retired, there's some things that he feels about Matt Rule. What was your take on that? And what brought you to kind of put that together, being that Prince is one of the best cornerbacks to come out of Nebraska?
Well, it's kind of funny because sometimes, in the media, I'll reach out to people and then sometimes they kind of want to talk. And in this case, Prince was back at the Michigan game a couple weeks ago promoting DirecTV, who he was with. And so had a chance to talk with him a little bit about his career, and it was great. I mean, he's really insightful. He's had some great experiences both at Nebraska, part of that 2009 defense with Sue, and then won a Super Bowl with the Giants, part of the NFL for 10 years, and just a fun guy. Now I think he's a reminder of how life changes too. He has triplets that are less than a year old, so that's keeping him pretty busy, if you can imagine. But I think from a football perspective, it was kind of cool because, it's kind of unbelievable, but Prince is still Nebraska's most recent first-round NFL draft pick. He was number 19 overall in 2011. And for people that maybe need a refresher on his story, he was a three-star athlete out of Arizona who was a running back for the most part in high school. And at Nebraska, they converted him to a corner, and he developed into an all Big 10 or all Big 12 contributor, and then had that NFL career. So like hearing from him and kind of his story, he made the point, and it's absolutely true, that like that's the kind of path that Nebraska needs to find more often as it's working its way back into national relevance, because it's not so much like about finding all the five-star guys, but I think for the most part, the path that Nebraska can find success on is, again, finding guys, identifying players, who have that potential, finding the right spot on the field for them, and then coaching them up and kind of figuring out what their ceiling can be. So it was fun catching up with him, I know he's very much involved in the program still, just in terms of following along. And he he said he really had no regrets about retiring, but when Nebraska played at Colorado last month, he said he did want to get back out there and see how he might have fared against Shedeur Sanders and that crew. So fun to talk with him. Cool sort of walk down memory lane, but I think also relevant for what Nebraska wants to do in the future.
Absolutely. I just want to continue just in that line real quick, just to get your quick take on that. So I gave an analogy probably a couple of weeks ago as about the direction of the program. And I obviously with Colorado being next door to us and kind of what's been going on with their not only their ticket sales and their merch sales and just their TV ratings, just the whole bit that's been going on there. And I made a reference of it being like an F-16 with, supersonic abilities to go vertical, right? And I looked at the Nebraska program with the abilities to reach the same height, but it just is more like a 747 or more like a 737 or 757, that its trajectory is still trending higher in altitude, but just may take a little bit longer to get there. Is that something is what you've heard as far as that analogy?
I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's interesting to see how the two programs are going about their build, and there's no doubt that the way that Colorado's gone with Deion Sanders, I mean, they're still, I think, the most watched college football program in the country when you look at week in and week out. So they're absolutely creating a buzz and interest from recruits, and you would think that's going to continue to build. Nebraska's has been more, you're right, kind of a slower climb. They didn't jump out of the gates the way that Colorado did, I think in part because they don't have a future NFL quarterback, running their offense right now. But like you can see, I think even midway through the season, just different ways that this thing is being built on solid ground, whether that's what the defense is doing, playing 24 guys in meaningful snaps and how those players are developing, to, as much as the offense has struggled and as it's been hit with attrition and injuries, you can still see the identity forming there where they want to be a body blow, ground and pound team that occasionally takes some deep shots and converts at a high rate on third down. So like the vision, I think, is starting to come into focus a little bit more for Nebraska than it has in a number of years. And so, it'll be interesting to see where those two programs end up in 2 or 3 years. And I think in some ways they're going to be linked just because they each had coach openings at the same time. And we'll see how it turns out. But it does feel like in their own ways, there's going to be some potential for bigger things than either program's had down the road.
Well, and as far as this year, like you said, we are at the halfway point. Nebraska actually improved their scoring average by scoring 20 this past game. They went from 18 points per game to 19 points per game. Here at the halfway point, if we look over at the second half of the season, do you think that they're going to improve on that number? Or do you think that this offense is going to be around 19 points per game? And could they make a bowl game with that sort of outfit?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I mean, the teams that they're playing in the second half by Big Ten standards, they're fairly flawed. And I think if you're trying to map out a way to get 3 more wins and get to a bowl, the recipe or the map is pretty straightforward. Like, you're going to rely on your defense. And I think the offenses that they're facing in the second half are pretty manageable, relatively speaking. So you're going to rely on your defense. And then offensively, you avoid the critical mistakes, avoid the giveaways, the fumbles in the red zone, of which they had 2 at Illinois, and then just, find a way to generate a touchdown or 2, make your field goals. Maybe the defense gives you a short field. So I think, you look at what's in store for this team in the second half. I think 21 to 24 points a game. Like, if you can score in that range, like you're in good shape, in my opinion, just based on what the defense is doing. And obviously the offense is going to have to work through some other things too. They were already shorthanded, but everybody, I think at this point, knows kind of the limitations they have, losing 3 of their top 4 preseason receivers, probably what you would have said was their top 2 running backs. Arik Gilbert was former 5-star who may not have been in the mix, but is obviously not with the team anymore. And then you don't have your original starting quarterback either. So despite all of that, they found some things. And I think it'll be interesting, too, to see what the opportunity is like for that next wave up. What does this group of freshman wide receivers bring to the table with Jaden Doss or Malachi Coleman or Jalen Lloyd? Like, those guys were highly recruited players out of high school for a reason. And as Matt Rule said, he figured they're going to be good down the road. And now the task is to be good now. So we'll see how that pays off as well. But I think there's sort of this, intrigue or unknown that sort of adds to what should be a pretty fun second half.
So one thing Notorious B.I.B., he had a question on the text line, and I wanted to go ahead and throw it to you because he wanted us to ask it of you. He said, could you ask Evan if he thinks removing names from the jerseys would provide any motivation to the players or just get to a bowl game or to just get to a bowl game this year?
Like on the backs?
Yeah.
Some schools do that. I know Penn State's been known for a long time to go that route, and you can kind of see what they're getting at there, right? It's not about the individual, but the player. But I don't know. I think it's fairly commonplace at this point to have your name on the back and to be, clearly in this era of the portal and NIL and pro football focus, like, you're also trying to improve your own stock. So I don't see Nebraska necessarily going down that road. I think you could, make a case motivationally for that, but we haven't heard anything from Matt Rule in that regard. I think they, have their own ways of sort of keying in guys and keeping them focused. But, all that being said, it does very much seem like this is a team-focused situation where guys have been willing to change positions. Guys have been willing to accept whatever part-time roles, rotational roles for the betterment of the team. And I think we honestly saw that at Illinois more than we've seen at any point, as guys have stepped up because of injury. They've gone a little bit deeper into the rotation, especially on the defensive line. So from what I've seen, guys are buying in, and this is the time of year when you find that out, when some of these voids create opportunities for guys to step up.
Last question before we get you out of here. Obviously, fall baseball has kicked off. What's your initial thoughts on the baseball team and what you've seen so far with them in this fall ball start?
Yeah, they're wrapping up their red-white series here this afternoon at Haymarket. It's been fun. Like, it's been a pretty wide open situation where you don't even really have a sense of what the starting rotation from a pitching standpoint could look like in the spring. They're working through that. There's probably 6 or 7 guys right now that are in the running for that. Really, there's just a handful of batters back that you feel good about being regulars, whether that's Dylan Carey on the left side of the infield or Gabe Swanson in the outfield, who was an all Big Ten player last year. Garrett Anglam's back. So they have some pieces, but it's a really interesting mix of freshmen and transfers, and then some other players who were on the team who are maybe stepping into more elevated roles this year. So I think the theme of the fall has been competition, whether that's from a position standpoint. The inter-squad scrimmages have been really tight throughout, and it's just been a chance really for a third year in a row for Nebraska to get to know each other with a flipped roster, trying to get back to the postseason. It does feel like they have more depth of talent. I think with their arms, their lineup is more diversified with left-handed bats. I was out here at Haymarket yesterday, and it was essentially a 50-50 split with righties and lefties taking the at-bats. And so that's something Nebraska has not had under Will Bolt the last 4 seasons or so. So intriguing team. A lot still to be sorted out. And, I think it should be a pretty competitive group when it gets rolling in mid-February.
There he is, Evan Bland. Thank you once again, Evan Bland and Omaha World Herald, for joining in. Great articles. Check them out. Go peep and see what he's got cooking up over there at Omaha World Herald. Evan, thanks for joining us, and hope we talk to you next week.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
All right, brother. There he is. Evan Bland. Well, it's good stuff. Good stuff as always. It's always good to talk to him. He has great insight on things. That Prince Mukamara stuff is pretty dope, too.
Yeah. It's very cool to catch up to former players. Still can't believe that the last first-round draft pick for Nebraska was Prince Mukamara and was recruited here by Bill Callahan. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, crazy stuff. And I like the methodology of the potential of the way in which they're going to possibly go about it. I think that's a smart way. especially when you're trying to totally rebuild and take the legacy of this team and the brand of this team back to its former glory days. We'll be right back. We'll have a short segment coming right back right here on the block.
It's a bye weekend for Nebraska football, so roll out the barrel at Beer House this Saturday for Oktoberfest. Doors open at 11 a.m. with a ceremonial keg tapping at noon. Oktoberfest is a family-friendly celebration with live music, games, German foods, and German beers. There's a Stein holding contest at 2 and 6 p.m., other games throughout the day, and all the German sausages and pretzels you can fit in your lederhosen. Tickets are $5 in advance or $10 at the door. Purchase yours ahead of time at LincolnOktoberfest.com. This Saturday at Beer House in the Haymarket.
What is Casasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Casasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Casasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Casasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers 118th anniversary sale is going on right now. This sale only comes around once a year, so don't miss your chance to save 20% or more on everything diamond. Bridal and engagement rings, bracelets, earrings, and all diamond jewelry, 20% off or more. Our lowest prices of the year, now through October 25th, only at Sutter Heyman's 118th anniversary sale. Lincoln and Grand Island or SutterHeyman.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats. Dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people. Small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
I'm Christy. I used to smoke cigarettes. I had smoker's cough and severe shortness of breath, and I knew I had to quit. Then I tried e-cigarettes, but I just ended up using both. I really didn't start to get better until I quit smoking completely. My tip to you is just cutting down on the number of cigarettes you smoke isn't enough.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln. And with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily. And not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine, with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow, what about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com. Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. We've got a quick segment we're going to jump in and out of. Bach, what we have in some short news?
Well, there is an event that we would like to tell you about. If you haven't been to it, it's a blast. I went last year. Make plans to stop by Haymarket Park this Saturday for SIP Nebraska. It's from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. SIP Nebraska brings together a passionate community of local wine, craft beer, spirits, and their fans to celebrate Nebraska's beverage industry. Wineries, breweries, and distilleries from all across the state will be at Haymarket Park on Saturday from as far away as Scotts Bluff and everywhere in between. Tickets are $65 a person for unlimited samples all day long. Early bird tickets are $75 and have access from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Regular tickets have doors opening at 1 p.m., so until 9 p.m. If you want to do the $65 route, buy tickets today at blurevents.com. Were you able to go out to the event last year?
I was not.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's a good. I still love Blur. And the wonderful events that they put together. We had a great time down in Boulder. But you got one quick little thing we can pop on, or is it too? Do we need to save it until the end?
No, it's okay. We can get it here because I think it's just kind of funny to listen to, and then we can give our comments on it.
Yeah.
There's a back and forth here between James Franklin. Well, it's just a question at the podium from a reporter, and James Franklin's response was kind of funny. So as you listen throughout this, there's kind of this debate on the internet of who was right, who was wrong, how could the question have been worded differently. We'll give you your thoughts afterwards, but just kind of think of those things as you listen to this.
Hey, good afternoon, James.
Hey, Corey.
A follow-up to what you were just asked there about Drew. Is there a balance, though, between, hey, we need you to throw the ball deep no matter, just take a shot. Don't overthink it. Take a shot. We need to see it. We're going to call it. And we need you to get some confidence in doing this as opposed to even giving a young quarterback the chance to say, hey, just check it down if it's not there.
I don't really understand what you're saying because we would never. I'm like my skin is curling when you say just drop back and chuck it deep no matter what. Like that is like I don't even know what you're saying. It's like you're speaking like from
Just
Mars.
send a guy on a post pattern, take the shot, throw it.
No matter what.
Give your receiver a chance to make a play on a ball. Even if he might be covered 30 yards down the field, maybe you think he'll be open 45 yards down the field, and like Godwin did, or with Jahan or KJ.
I still don't like. You're speaking Japanese. We have never done that. Just throw the ball up and maybe he'll be open and maybe he'll catch. Like my skin is like you're making me uncomfortable. Like I don't know what you're talking about. So
okay.
we would not do that. We would never do that. We've never thought about doing that as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, as a receivers coach. I coached the receivers. I didn't want them to do that. So no, strong, no, no.
Yeah, no. Bach, I'll go first on this.
Okay.
Because listen, I understand what Coach Franklin is saying, right? There's just no way. It's definitely going to depend on the coverage. It's going to depend on the read, the route tree, and which guy you're trying to take advantage of, so forth and so on. Now, I will say I get that part. So I understand his answer to be that. But I will say this. There are certain people like Tyreek Hill, Randy Moss, maybe even Justin Jefferson. There's certain guys that if you've got them one-on-one, if you have a skinny post and you know he can blow the top off of it, you might throw it up there and give him a shot on a deep, skinny post in between a safety and a cornerback, even though it's covered, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let him moss him. I mean, that's what the name came from, right?
Yep.
You maybe even back in the old Odell Beckham Jr.
Yep.
time frames, right? So I'm just saying there are certain receivers that I think you can allow a chance and say, I believe in my guy against this guy or even these two. But anyway, that's my thought.
Well, I think there's certainly, I don't want to say fault on James Franklin's part, but he could have been nicer if he wanted to be. But for the question was,
my skin's crawling.
Right. The question wasn't worded very well. He's basically asking if they just want to take shots, but it wasn't. If it's not just simply like, is there something in your offense to take a shot deep? The question was like, really like, no matter what, let's just throw this no matter what. And that's where James Franklin, like, because you can even see, like, it's easy to say that. And call for that play, and sometimes they'll just make the call deep. But if there's coverage there, you don't want to do it. That's why sometimes you'll even see a flea flicker that's designed for a deep route. They don't throw it because if it's not open, you're not going to throw it. So, it's just kind of a little middle ground there where the question wasn't worded all that well. Franklin probably didn't have to act like that was a question from Mars or in Japanese, because I understood kind of where he was getting at. He could have went through and just explained it, that, it's going to depend on coverage and stuff like that. But then we wouldn't be talking about it. It was entertaining. And so I'm glad that he answered the way he did. Plus, it's always that battle between coaches and media, and maybe a certain guy, he's tired of the questions, or,
especially media will take your stuff out of context, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have a chance to kind of throw the context of your dumb question
you catch
to me,
them on a bad
I'm
question.
going to get you, right? Yeah, the back and forth between the media. And you got to be careful these days. I even try to be careful of some of my scrutiny. But nonetheless, man, great stuff. Thanks for sharing it. We've got to get out of here. We'll come back. We'll have some NFL talk when we come back. It's going to be heavy doses of NFL. Trade deadlines coming up. Also, we'll talk a little bit about the Broncos when we get back right after this on the block.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln, and with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily, and not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine, with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow, what about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Something spooktacular is happening at Bonsall Pool and Spa. From now until October 14th, visit the Bonsall Spooktacular sale to take advantage of this great cash and carry offer. $400 off all in-stock free-flow spas. Also, customers can take 10% off spa chemical and spa cover orders. Stop by today at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to take home your free flow spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, also online at bonsallpool.com. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Yet another Nebraska winter is looming, and you know you're going to need tires on your vehicle. Don't fret. They are all on sale now during the October Spectacular event at Graham Tire Company. Buy 3 Kumho tires and get the 4th tire free with the purchase of an install package. Save big on Goodyear, Hankook, Nokian, and more. Big rebates on select Goodyear tires that will double when you use your Goodyear credit card. It's their biggest sale of the year, and it's happening now. GrahamTireLincoln.com, getting you to the places that matter most.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome back to On the Block. Once again, it's the second hour. It is Strick and Bach on the ones and twos. Great first half of the segment. If you guys either like what you heard or didn't like what you heard or laughed at what you heard or any of those things, Sauter Heyman text line is always open to you. The Honda of Lincoln hotline as well, 402-464-5685. We thank Evan Bland for joining us as well on the Allo VIP line. And let's get into this second segment. A little bit of NFL scoop. What's going on out there? The NFL trade deadline, some thoughts on that. Which big name players could possibly be on the move, or who needs to make a move, or who needs to be still and let things play out. Let's get into it a little bit. The reality of it is that, to me, Bach, there's been some sluggishness. There haven't been those intensified NFL matchups like we normally see on a regular basis. Like, I was just looking at the schedule this week, and I'm like, kind of bland. Like the Cowboys and the 49ers was one that was set up really nicely, but I'm looking around and I'm like, there's really no storylines. There's really nothing that just brings interest to me. It's kind of like the early season sometimes of the NBA where it's like, and we know what they're trying to do with that. But here's the deal. There's a handful of teams right now, Bach, that are sitting at 1-4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
3 of those have pieces that other teams probably would want or might want. Some of them have quarterbacks that they wish they could get rid of, but they can't. And a few of those teams that are sitting there at that position are the Vikings, the Giants, and the Broncos. Each of them finding themselves at a tough spot at this time of the season with the need to get rid of a few pieces and put themselves in a position to prepare for 2024. Those are the 3 teams that I think have the most need, especially with the salary cap the way it is, the money that they have out on certain players, and then trying to position themselves to get under the cap for some that they may want to sign. So let's start with the Vikings first, okay? With the Vikings, they've regressed after going 13-4 and losing in the wild card to the Giants, which was probably one that breaky their heart. But now they're at 1-4, also with Justin Jefferson, with now on the IR for at least 4 games. The hamstring injury is one of the hardest ones to recover from because it's not a lot of blood that gets to that muscle. So we don't even know if Justin Jefferson is going to even be able to get back to the same strength potentially that he would be. Kirk Cousins is one of the pieces as well that sits there. Still, I think the NFL quarterbacks are a lot of them like Kirk Cousins, the abilities to do some good things and other than that. But what's your initial thoughts on what they may need to do? Do they just need to unload? What is the perspective as far as the Vikings right now? Because they thought they'd be in a better position than they are right now.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, at least compared to the other teams, they've lost to good teams. I know it's 1-4. You don't want to be 1-4 one way or the other. But they're basically losing single-digit games, single possession games to good teams, to include Tampa Bay, who's 3-1, surprising good team. But yeah, I mean, their big question is going to be around Kirk Cousins, and it has been for a while now. Is what are they ultimately going to do with it? You're going to pay him up,
big money,
keep him,
yeah,
or like you said, I mean, just the way that the season's playing out. And they're in a division maybe where they can, fight back in and be part of this thing. So I don't know if I would quite label them sellers quite yet. But at the same time, it's just kind of the stars are aligning, right? For maybe if you're not having a good season, it could be a move where you can get rid of Kirk Cousins without a whole lot of fan backlash. And I say that somewhat tongue in cheek, but also like it's hard to know what like the Viking fan base wants out of their quarterbacks, because I hear some of them are completely tired of Kirk Cousins, want to move on, try somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, Kirk Cousins probably, their best quarterback they've had is in a stable position. Heck, I don't know. I mean, it's just been a long time. That's been a troublesome quarterback, position. And Kirk Cousins, as you often allude to him as, is kind of your, okay, good enough to make it in the league, can put up some big numbers, usually struggles in the last drive or whatever to kind of get you the win, but is certainly serviceable, even past that point, to probably above average NFL starter. So that's what's going to give him a designation. Now, but at 1-4, I think you do at least trade block him. I'm not saying trade him, but put him on the trade block, see what you can get in a return. But you've just got a lot of
because there's a lot of bad teams.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad teams that can use a little bit of an upgrade. Just think of
and he would be.
I would say that even the Giants right now or the Jets right now would be in a position to take a Kirk Cousins, a seasoned veteran, somebody who has some good upside, whether even if there's inconsistency at it, it's definitely an upgrade from where they are right now. So, but here's the thing though. Here's where they sit. They have a rookie quarterback right now. I mean, they're already in a bad situation, right? Mm-hmm. You have a rookie quarterback. Justin Jefferson is hurt for another 4 weeks. You have Jordan Addison, who is now going to have to probably step into a number one role and do a little bit more. So that's going to give him a little bit more seasoning and prepare for to be even take on a bigger and better role for the team. So then you're not tanking, but you're getting seasoning from those players, probably putting a good, opportunity for O'Connell to become a strong backup for you. I don't know if O'Connell to me is going to be a starting quarterback. He doesn't give that. He don't give me the Brock Purdy vibes. He doesn't give me anything like that. But we'll see. Throw it out there and let him see. And here's why. Because this is a huge quarterback market that's going to be open to you in the draft for next year, right? If you come up with a whole bunch of losses this year, your first round pick could be looking at a Caleb Williams. I'd be having discussions with his agent and anybody in his NIL department right now and let him know, hey, are you interested? I want to know, because that way I can figure out, is it you or is it maybe a Drake May who I can have as a quarterback to be able to throw to these wonderful weapons that we have. So that's just a thought that I have. Do you want to add to that or do you want to move on?
Oh, we can move on.
Okay, here we go. The other team that I don't think is in a worse situation, because I actually think they have better weapons. It's just a matter of what direction they're going to want to go. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Broncos as far as whether or not the Russell Wilson situation or whatever's out there. But the Broncos do have pieces in that. Russell Wilson as well with bad quarterbacks out there. And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. So I don't want to dig too big on that. But also Pat Surtain II is also out there where you can throw some things around. You have, solid receivers in Jerry Jeudy. Cortland Sutton has been there for quite a while now. Big, strong, guy who can also run, which can help you out a little bit. So they're a little bit better in this process potentially of being able to make some moves. But what's your thoughts? Because right now they're sitting in a position that I'm sure they didn't think they would be in.
Yeah, with Sean Payton and you know, hopefully they're being able to get the best out of Russell Wilson. That's what the hope was. What was not planned is having the worst defense in the NFL, which they've given up more points. Obviously, a lot do that 70 points that they gave up in one game to the Dolphins. But you know, we already saw them get rid of Randy Gregory. They at least got a little bit of a return on him after initially releasing him in a trade to the 49ers. But yeah, I mean, they don't feel like I was just saying with the Vikings, where it's like, yeah, it's 1-4. Maybe you take a few more weeks, see if you're 3-4, and then you're right back into it. The Broncos feel further away than that. So I could definitely see them being a seller at the trade deadline.
Okay. Lastly, let's talk about the New York Giants. The panic button, I think, is needed to be pushed out there in Giants territory. Both the New York teams, to me, are in need of panic button pushing, especially with Saquon and what's going on there. They still got some pieces that they could do some things with. The problem, though, is they haven't really put together anything that people would want. They have a few pieces to kind of shift around maybe, but, you know, like Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, pretty much are the only guys that I think you should, remove from anybody coming in and sniping them from you, right? You still need a strong base. Even if you wanted to trade like Landry Jones,
Daniel Jones, yeah.
I mean, Daniel Jones. God dang, I said Landry Jones. Daniel Jones, that could still come with some possible salary cap implications. So they have more trouble, I think, than anybody. And there's no hope, I don't think, for them to be able to turn this situation around for the Giants. I think the Giants is a lost cause.
Yeah, it's weird because obviously, you know, their coach Brian Dabble was all the talk. What was that, last year, 2 years ago, when they kind of made their run and were relevant again, but it quickly kind of turns on them. They're getting blown out in big fashion here. And I think you're probably at the time to make the decision on Daniel Jones. If you're going to be getting a high draft pick.
But he vouched for him though, Bach.
Yeah.
So is that a Dable issue? Are they looking at him in a couple years if this continues to go?
I think so. I mean, again, he could go from being one of the best sought after NFL coaches into where, you know, the next year, if you struggle for half a season, you'll get fired. I mean, that's how the NFL goes. And that's what it's looking like right now. The Giants just don't seem to have a whole lot of hope. They're getting blown out. The one win they did have against the Cardinals, the Cardinals should have won that game. The Cardinals aren't any good. Better than what you thought they would be coming into the season. But in any case, another 1-4 team. I don't know. To me, I think it's time to make the decision on Daniel Jones. And if the decision is to keep going with him, then you'll just have people continue to keep saying, well, you got to make the decision on him. You know, give him the rest of the year, sure, or whatever. But I don't know how much longer they're going to run with that experience. Good running quarterback, but I think they overdrafted him to begin with.
Who are pieces for them, Bach, that when you really begin to look into their roster, that could be someone who could help them in any way to change the lostness of their cause?
I mean, you can hope for like super Saquon Barkley again.
Right. But injuries.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of it's just limitations. I mean, we talk all the time about Nebraska and their limitations on offense. They just seem to be a little limited with their personnel. And in the NFL, that's, you know, you get less of a pass on that. Of course, in college you're recruiting or whatever, first year and all that stuff. But, you know, in the NFL, that's kind of up to you and your GM to build something that's formidable. And they've seemingly missed on a few wide receivers or not, you know, kept the guys in that do get going. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's a whole lot of hope there's a few teams that, and the Giants included, you know, it's early in the season, but that's why we're kind of talking about it right now. It's like, it's like, again, I just think opposed to the Vikings. The Vikings are still putting up a good fight. They haven't won these games, but they're competing against the top level teams in the NFL. And that's what you expect week in and week out. Even if you're a bad team, in pro football. If you're getting blown out 40-0, 37-3 in these 11, right? It's just like you are at the bottom of the barrel in the NFL.
Yeah, and I thought Arizona was that. I thought Arizona was going to be the ones looking at the first and second type of pick. But here's the thing, though. Brad, elaborate a little bit on that question that you had on the Sauter Heyman text line. He says that Dallas needs a number one receiver, and I want to say, I think you're saying Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't know if Wan'Dale's a number one. I would say that I think gosh darn it, what's my guy?
Jalen Hyatt, maybe?
No, from Oklahoma.
CeeDee
Lamb. I would say CeeDee Lamb was probably a better option. I think Wan'Dale's a great slot, but I don't know if he's a number one. So if that's what you're saying, I don't think it. Big Bird, he really said it though. And I think this is where we're talking about when we're talking about the Giants on the Sauter Heyman text line. He says they're stuck with Danny Dimes. He got too many dimes, and with a dollar sign at the back. And this is the thing, I think Brian Dable may be in trouble for that one because he's the one that actually vouched for him when maybe some of the top brass was trying to move and go a different direction. But hey, it is what it is. But I think you're right. I think they're stuck with him. Nyla Boo says, Captain Kirk, he can stay right where he is. Go Pack, go. I'm sure she likes that. Mike says on the Sauter Heyman text line, Kurt's got a no trade clause. He's not going anywhere. They're stuck with him, as Nyla Boo had said as well.
Now, he could be able to drop that and go to a contender.
Yeah, he could.
Would be the idea there.
Yeah. He could. But like you're saying, they're competing, so he may not feel, to go and try to learn a new system and do all of that. So he may not feel that may be the need. Augie says they paid Jones before the season and made Barkley hold out. Terrible management. I would have to agree with you, and I think this is probably where he's going to pay for it. John in Cortland says, no one will touch Russell Wilson. Peyton went after his guy, big bucks. They are stuck. Russell is playing less than adequate. I would have to disagree with you, and this is one of the topics we're going to get into a little bit more because I was going to ask that question. I see what your answer is. Maybe I can persuade you in a little bit of debate, but we'll talk about that a little bit less. Anything else on those thoughts on those on any of the text messages?
Not necessarily. I was just kind of looking it up that Daniel Jones now 2 touchdowns, 6 picks on the year, does lead the team in rushing with just under 200 yards, which doesn't say much for the help he's getting either. Their leading wide receiver is Darren Waller as a tight end. No actual wide receiver has more than 167 yards receiving on the year. No bueno. It's just that's why I was kind of saying like they're just kind of they just don't have it. They don't have the pieces.
Yeah, no bueno. They're unstuck, literally. Stuck in the bottom. And I actually thought Arizona was going to be that, and they're actually competing a little bit better than that. Let's take a break. We'll get into the little bit of the Broncos conversation and talk a little bit about what John and Cortland had to say a little bit about the Broncos and push back a little bit on the debate. We'll come back right after this on the block.
It's a bye weekend for Nebraska football, so roll out the barrel at Beer House this Saturday for Oktoberfest. Doors open at 11 a.m. with a ceremonial keg tapping at noon. Oktoberfest is a family-friendly celebration with live music, games, German foods, and German beers. There's a Stein holding contest at 2 and 6 p.m., other games throughout the day, and all the German sausages and pretzels you can fit in your lederhosen. Tickets are $5 in advance or $10 at the door. Purchase yours ahead of time at LincolnOktoberfest.com. This Saturday at Beer House in the Haymarket.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Something spooktacular is happening at Bonsall Pool and Spa. From now until October 14th, visit the Bonsall Spooktacular sale to take advantage of this great cash and carry offer. $400 off all in-stock free-flow spas. Also, customers can take 10% off spa chemical and spa cover orders. Stop by today at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to take home your free flow spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, also online at bonsallpool.com.
Chances are you're a busy person. Chances are you'd rather not drive down to Beatrice for your favorite desserts. Chances are you'd really benefit from a Lincoln location for all of your fruitcake, liqueur cake, and breakfast bread needs. Insert Beatrice Bakery in downtown Lincoln. 1040 O Street, the new 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Just grab a cake out of the cooler, pay at the counter, and you're headed home with the delicious, fruity, nutty, decadent treat of your choice. Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com or now in downtown Lincoln at 1040 O Street.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Yet another Nebraska winter is looming, and you know you're going to need tires on your vehicle. Don't fret, they are all on sale now during the October Spectacular event at Graham Tire Company. Buy 3 Kumho tires and get the 4th tire free with the purchase of an install package. Save big on Goodyear, Hankook, Nokian, and more. Big rebates on select Goodyear tires that will double when you use your Goodyear credit card. It's their biggest sale of the year, and it's happening now. GrahamTireLincoln.com, getting you to the places that matter most.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today will see mainly sunny skies for most of the day. There's a chance for showers and storms later in the day. Otherwise, we'll see a high of around 78. Tonight, we'll see a chance for showers and storms below around 60. And tomorrow, showers and storms are likely, some of which could be severe in the afternoon. We'll see a high of around 77. Meteorologist Kyle Kleck from 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com.
I'm Christy. I used to smoke cigarettes. I had smoker's cough and severe shortness of breath, and I knew I had to quit. Then I tried e-cigarettes, but I just ended up using both. I really didn't start to get better until I quit smoking completely. My tip to you is just cutting down on the number of cigarettes you smoke isn't enough.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Muchachos has been Lincoln's leader for New Mexican barbecue for a few years now, and they've expanded into Omaha. That's right, you can get all your favorites like the pipeline burrito with 3 meats, rice, beans, queso, and crushed chips, or any of their great taco options in Lincoln or Omaha. Plus, they want to give back as the Malachi Coleman Giverito, a 2-meat hatchback burrito, gives proceeds to the Fly Like Kai Foundation for the Lincoln foster care community. Stop by Muchachos in Lincoln at 11th and L or in Omaha at 1258 South 13th Street.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block. Strick and not Austin Orman. It is Strick and Bach. And this is our final segment before we get into the crossover with DP and Jay from Old School. I want to pull up something while I have the opportunity to do so. And I think I got it. Okay, cool. Russell Wilson has been having a little bit of problems. Last year he got roasted heavily. A lot of people were saying it was because of the scheme out at Seattle that made him who he was. It was seen that he was coddled. Some of the ex-teammates have come out and basically said that he wasn't held to the same. Well, let's just name it. It's put out there. Richard Sherman and KJ Wright had a conversation on a podcast, I believe. And they talked about their dislikes and other players. And you see tweets that come from Doug Baldwin, who was one of his good receivers at the time. And, basically saying he's soft as cottonelle in a sense. And, but they said he was not held to the same accountability as the rest of us. KJ Wright said, "You're bashing the defense. I need you to at least mention his name in the team meeting." Then Sherman also talked about how Wilson was getting special treatment from head coach Pete Carroll, which caused a lot of friction in the locker room. There was also comments from some that were saying he was fake, he was fraudulent. He would act like he was cool with you and just, but it just didn't come off as genuine. And they said he blocked numbers from some of his ex-teammates once he left the Seahawks. There was blocking of numbers. But the one that hit me really hard was they said he had office and parking spaces that were just solely his. So he'd have an office up there. So it was just a lot of preferential treatment that he seemed that he was getting up there. So, but the thing is, you come into this year, they have great expectations. Sean Payton and the crew really was looking at this as a breakthrough for the Broncos this year. When you look at the division, I think you could say it was kind of up for grabs. They figured to maybe be second at worst in the division. Didn't know what, the Broncos, not the Broncos, but the Las Vegas Raiders were going to do. When you look at the division, you just didn't really know, how that was going to pan out. But at the same time, you hope that Russell would be better. So my pushback is when you look at it in 5 games, of Russell Wilson, Bach. Russell Wilson in 5 games, I can't really say it's his fault. Them being 1-4, I would say last year, I would look at it and I would say, is his legacy in jeopardy? Was he just that the system was just perfect for him in Seattle and just that he can't play in another system? Is it marriage related? I mean, there was just a lot of questions that were being thrown out. But at the same time, this year in 5 games, he's already over 1,200 yards passing. He's over 1,200 yards passing with a 67% completion ratio percentage, 42 yards a game, 11 TDs with only 2 interceptions. He's been sacked 15 times, and his rating is over 106. So I can't really say that when I look at it, it's really his fault. And you did have some interesting takes on their the other side of the ball for them too.
Yeah, that defensive side of the ball is obviously struggling quite a bit. Again, worse in the league as far as points allowed. A lot of that coming from the 70 that the Dolphins hung up on them. Understandable. They're the one bright spot for them is understandable why they've got rid of Randy Gregory. And I've said this before, and I don't mean this in too much of a slight form, but I think Randy Gregory's name holds more than his play does. He does have get a lot of pressures, but maybe it was playing in Dallas. It kind of became, I don't want to say a household name, but a name a lot of people knew around the league.
Well, it's easy when you go on the other side. You got those type of guys.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys there. Just didn't get anything going in Denver. And one of the young guys, Nick Benito, basically took his spot and has 5.5 sacks already on the year.
Yeah.
Of course, if you remember, Nebraska played against Nick Benito a few years ago when he was at Oklahoma. So, that's the one bright spot on Denver's defense. There's not a whole lot else. But I agree with you. It's just, 11 touchdowns to 2 picks. It's much better. Last year finished with 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, which was one of his worst career years. So a little bit more understandable there. obviously the fact that they lost to Hackett and the Jets this week, especially, really just kind of makes them look silly because Sean Payton was taking his shots in the offseason. Obviously, it looks a little easier said than done to get this turnaround. It's just kind of crazy to me, and part of it, I think, is the roster around him. Good, not great help. There's guys, Jerry Jeudy's fine. As far as like top level wide receivers, I'm saying, he's good. But it's not like he's got, some of the pieces that he had to work with in Seattle. I think I think it's all right. As far as Russell Wilson, I wouldn't put too much of the blame on him. It's just, I think anybody's going to struggle with that defense.
Yeah. I mean, you hope to have a good balance, but you're even greater if you have an elite defense and just even a mediocre, an offense that's just can take advantage of how good. I mean, the Legend of Boom was phenomenal. There was a lot of benefit from that because all you had to do was really just be solid when you have a defense like them for all those years. I would also say even in the years when the Ravens were great at the defensive side of things.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't really need an elite style quarterback. You just needed a solid running game to move the ball when you had Rice and, those guys who could just really take advantage and run that clock and let the defense put you in great positions in order to win games. So I'll push back a little bit on that. I don't think his legacy is totally in jeopardy. I think they're stuck with him. I don't think he can go anywhere. I don't think that he's movable. Mm-hmm. I think the money that was given to him is way, way too much for anybody even to take a chance on him, especially with the season that he put up last year and just how things are going for them right now. I just think it's troubling for them to try to move him. Quarterbacks are at a need right now. There's a lot of places where quarterbacks could be of use, but I just don't think he's one of them that could be on the move.
No, I don't think he's necessarily, and I wouldn't if I'm the Broncos. I mean, he is one of the pieces. He's got a few years left in him, probably 33 years old, something like that. So he's probably got a few years left in him. A big part of his game is scrambling around. So I mean, if he loses, part of that speed, I mean, that could be a kind of a quick downfall, type of thing. So you want to look, definitely be ahead of it before he does kind of hit that age. But it is interesting. I mean, he's got good enough numbers, but he's easy to forget about right now in Denver. As we were talking about the top quarterbacks in the league, it doesn't seem like it was a decade ago. Well, he was the young guy a decade ago, and he was one of those guys that was up, and he's got a good legacy, I think. But it's interesting because he's just so easy to forget about right now on a Broncos team that's not competitive.
Yeah, and the Sauter Heyman text line is lighting up with you guys. Disc Golf Jake says, "Yeah, I remember when Denver had some dogs on defense." Question mark. Peppers Farms remembers. He throws that out there. Notorious B.I.B. says Russell Wilson is a blowfish with an overblown ego who actually stinks now. Mr. Unlimited has hit a wall in Denver. It's tough when you're taking scrutiny, but here's the thing, right? Here's the crazy thing about this. Just think about how bad it is for Russell Wilson right now and how probably bad it was last year. And just think about where he's at. But just think about if he was in New York with the Jets or the Giants, how much worse it can be on your psyche. To me, he's still rebounded in his numbers so far up to this point.
Yeah, yep.
But just think of how Zach Wilson, if Zach Wilson and him, I think if Zach Wilson and him were flipped, I think Zach Wilson would probably even be better off right now than he is now.
That New York media market's not easy.
Oh my goodness. I mean, just think about my mind just drew a blank. So you have the lefty crew. So you have Jalen Brunson up in New York.
Oh yeah.
Then you have Jalen, then you have the Duke young fella. And then you have the
RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Then you have the other one. That was an all-star last year. Gosh dang it. My mind just drew. I hate when I'm thinking about a topic and then I freaking try to
these are
throw
all
names
on the
out.
Knicks here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Help me out, Sauter Heyman text line, if you guys are on it. They're all lefties. The big fella that can handle.
Randall?
Julius Randle.
Yeah,
Gosh dang it, man. My mind was, God, Bach, you're worse than me almost. Yeah, Julius Randle. So just think about how they killed him last year in the playoffs. He had a good season. He was a freaking all-star.
Yeah.
But boy, when he got into the playoffs,
that's
it
right.
was Merc sessions on him. Like they can do just so many things to your psyche, you know. And
did you experience any more of that in New York?
I didn't have to. I wasn't there as long enough to experience it. I mean, then I was kind of just a support role. I wasn't playing as much. And I thought Jeff Van Gundy was just goofy.
Did you?
Man, listen, here's why. When you lose because you don't have depth, Jeff Van Gundy was a 7-man rotation guy no matter what.
Okay.
It was what it was going to be. So it was Larry Johnson, Marcus Camby, you had Sprewell, Allen Houston, and then you had Chris Childs, Charlie Ward, and I think there was Kurt Thomas. Okay. That was the rotation. Literally.
Couldn't break it.
And every now and then I would get thrown in there depending on the situation, or they needed stops or maybe foul trouble or whatever. But we had a little bit more depth than that.
Yeah.
Right? And he wouldn't do it. So you go and play a tough schedule. Now, I think the schedule was worse than it was now. I mean, because there was days we had 5 and 7. Back to back, travel day, play the next day, travel day, back to back in 7 days. It was like we had schedules like that. So guys are tired. Why are you wasting guys on a 7-man rotation for 82 games? So then you get in the playoffs and guys are either hurt, injured, or in trouble. So I thought Jeff Van Gundy was goofy, but we got off track a little bit.
That's interesting in its own right.
But just to throw it out. But that's why I think they didn't, they weren't able to break through, because Larry ends up getting hurt, and freaking Allen Houston ends up with knee issues.
Was that how far removed was that from their?
They had just went to the finals.
It was just the next year.
So the next year,
okay,
same team, except they added a few guys like me, and there was a couple other guys that they added.
And they made that run from the 8th seed, right? So it was maybe a little bit misleading that they were like in the final, like they weren't.
Yeah, because they beat the Heat. That was really the ones that they thought were going to go. That Tim Hardaway and that crew.
Yeah.
And Morning and all of them. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to cross over. Just a little breakdown. I don't know, man. We got into the New York market and we got into Jeff Van Gundy, the goofy one. Shout out to Jeff Van Gundy. I think Jeff Van Gundy was he was a solid coach, but I think he was a better
great analyst. I like listening to him.
Yeah. We'll be back. We have Jay. I see Jay in the building. We'll talk with Jay a little bit. We'll see what maybe some of his thoughts are about some of these football potential moves when we get back right after this on the block.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Allo is turning 20 this year, and we plan to celebrate all year long. Since 2003, Allo has vowed to put customers first and deliver a drastically different experience. No matter where you live, work, or play, we believe you deserve an affordable, secure, and reliable connection. We're proud to have served our businesses and residents with seriously fast fiber optic service for 2 decades. Thank you for trusting Allo as your local internet, phone, and TV provider. Follow us on social media to know about the 20th anniversary celebrations in all our Allo communities.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 17th are prepackaged brisket for just $4.99 per pound. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, stop by the grand opening of the 30th and Yankee Hill location on October 14th and 15th and spend $100 in-store and receive a free cooler of certified Piedmontese beef. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
I'm Christy. I used to smoke cigarettes. I had smoker's cough and severe shortness of breath, and I knew I had to quit. Then I tried e-cigarettes, but I just ended up using both. I really didn't start to get better until I quit smoking completely. My tip to you is just cutting down on the number of cigarettes you smoke isn't enough.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Muchachos has been Lincoln's leader for New Mexican barbecue for a few years now, and they've expanded into Omaha. That's right, you can get all your favorites like the pipeline burrito with 3 meats, rice, beans, queso, and crushed chips, or any of their great taco options in Lincoln or Omaha. Plus, they want to give back, as the Malachi Coleman Give-A-Rito, a 2-meat hatchback burrito, gives proceeds to the Fly Like Kai Foundation for the Lincoln foster care community. Stop by Muchachos in Lincoln at 11th and L or in Omaha at 1258 South 13th Street.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies for most of the day. There's a chance for showers and storms later in the day. Otherwise, we'll see a high of around 78. Tonight, we'll see a chance for showers and storms below around 60. And tomorrow, showers and storms are likely. Some of which could be severe in the afternoon. We'll see a high of around 77. Meteorologist Kyle Kleck from 93.7 Ticket and TicketFM.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Crossing it over on the block here with Jay Foreman Jay, what's going on, my friend? You made it through the rain?
I did. And it's sprinkling out there right now. Look at that.
Oh, yeah,
It's
it's a little
misting.
sprinkle, a little misty out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, it looked like the sun was trying to pop his head back out, but oh well, it did. It's not the case. I gotta make this little drive back in the rain, but that's okay. It's raining on some NFL teams right now. There's some things going on.
Yeah.
I was talking to Bach a little bit earlier just about the lackluster feelings of the matchups, even in the middle parts of this the start of the season now.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have those matchup fires like that Cowboys 49ers matchup that wasn't even that good of a matchup after they beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the schedule, I'm like,
Nothing gets you excited.
Nothing gets me
right?
excited, right? But just initial thoughts on that, because I got another question about maybe some trade deadline moves that may be needed.
I think the fast starts by some teams and slow starts and then pretty much being out of the playoff race is just a byproduct of the change in the offseason rules, changing training camp, and then obviously changing from 4 preseason games to 3. And yes, you do a lot of joint practices, but it's nothing like a game. But then also they're bringing less guys to camp. So that means less reps, right? And so then the way that they structure practice, they don't wear pads, even half pads, as much as we did. So you're losing the, continuity to be able to really improve. And so, that's what you see some teams like Minnesota, right? They won 11 one-score games last year. They won 13 games overall. You're not going to be able to do
and
that.
they're losing those this year instead of winning them.
So that's just the difference of a magical year where things go right, fall right. You make those timely plays. And then maybe this year teams are prepared for it and they make timely plays. Then you look at a team like the Giants who played really good complementary football, but they had a healthy Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones was essentially playing for a contract. And they didn't have as much injuries. And the offensive line last year actually looked like they made an improvement. Well, now you got Daniel Jones by himself, injuries outside, Saquon's in and out of the lineup. They're toast. Then Chicago, they just Chicago.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so the teams that you thought at the beginning of the season that actually would be, a threat, or you just assumed Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, that combination.
Rebound.
Mm-hmm. Made some kind of, they got McGlinley from the San Francisco 49ers and a big, so now you got 2 good offensive tackles. Williams, the running back. I think Judy, you say, okay, Judy's going to be like Mike Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
None of that's happened. And then the defense hasn't played nearly as good as they could have. So I think a lot of teams have not met the expectations. But then on the flip side, Houston looks good. Indianapolis looks good.
We may talk about that tomorrow. The CJ Stroud and the Bryce Williams kind of
yeah. Well,
because they're
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young struggling. And Stroud is looking.
It seems
all right.
it seemed like the owner wanted Bryce Young. The coach wanted CJ Stroud in Carolina, and now they're always going to be compared to each other, but it's not comparable. So I think it's just one of those things that. It's a slow start to the season. And then when you kind of everybody tuned into that Cowboy game, and San Francisco is really rolling right now. And so they just got, hit with a buzzsaw.
So, okay. So who out of the NFC East outside of Philly is going to make that step? Or is just Dallas just not on the same level as the 49ers? Or
I think
I
think Dallas is better than what they represented. I think the thing that
so they're in their window real quick. They're in their window because they can't miss this window.
Dallas is in their window. I think offensively, there's some guys that were supposed to be some good players, really aren't. Dak struggles, really, to be honest with you. He's a little bit more dressed up version of Kirk Cousins. He's more athletic and stuff like that. But Dak needs guys that are legit around. Because
we saying Kirk Cousins is the model of the NFL quarterback for a good swath of
right. But Kirk Cousins needs a Jefferson and a Cook when he's rolling, and Thielen, and he'll eat you up. That's what Dak needs. He needs those guys around him to play up to their capabilities. And CeeDee Lamb is hot garbage. Gallup isn't. Instead of getting DeAndre Hopkins or trading for somebody. Heck, you got rid of my man and traded him to Cleveland essentially for a pack of bubble gum and like a 5th round pick and Amari Cooper, and he got you 1,100 yards. You just traded a number 1 receiver for and nothing in return.
Yeah.
And Gallup got hurt the year he's supposed to step up. Well, then Tavon Austin wasn't that guy. So now what you're doing now, and then you lost Schultz to Houston in free agency. So that was Dak's safety net. And that offensive line is always bad on injuries with Smith. And so Dak is going to take majority of the blame. But 2 of those interceptions that was broke down by Kurt Warner, who knows a lot more about quarterback than me, wasn't on Dak because the slant that Warner, remember where Fred Warner got the slant?
Yeah.
The receiver let the defensive back cross his face. That's like giving up an offensive rebound from a guy that's there and you just let him go get it, put back game winner. That's on you. You got to win that route. So Dallas, if I think they get back and get to what made them, potentially good, they'll be fine. Here's what if I'm Dallas,
can we pause on that because I know you got a breakdown.
Yeah, because
we got
we need to because Dallas, because that's your team, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I told you, Jay, I don't roll with them like that because all they do is they set you up to break your heart. I don't roll with that.
Did it all start and stop with Tony Romo dropping that field goal against Seattle?
Bro.
That started the Legion of Boom.
The Legion.
It was a year before they really took off, but if Dallas wins that, it changes the whole way your franchise goes. Bill Parcells probably stayed on a little bit longer.
You might say it, but go ahead, break that down.
If I'm Dallas or if I'm Jerry Jones, and I want to really get this team modeled to what Mike McCarthy says they want to be, right?
Yeah.
I call up Bill Belichick, and I get Ezekiel back. He's not getting any carries up there in New England. His contract's already what it is. So he's already done a negotiating for him. I trade him back there because the problem with Dallas is Ezekiel had, I think, nine or more touchdowns last year. But where they're struggling at is
red
in the red zone. He knows how to run in between the tackles, and he'll give Pollard a break. But then he accentuated Pollard because it was like thunder and lightning, physical run. You get that back, it opens up the rest of that offense. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Or get a power back.
Like
but Ezekiel knows it. And they should have signed him to a friendly deal. Right. He would have stayed.
Yeah.
And so you get that, and then you maybe make a trade for a receiver during the trade deadline, get you some more, get you a legitimate receiver, and then you're off to the races because the defense is going to rebound, right? Micah Parsons is going to come alive. They'll be able to replace Van Der Esch and stuff like that. They got to get to that offense going some.
Joey Roddick on the Sauterhaven text line had a question for you before we get out of here and then turn it over for old school. He says, I've been a Bengals fan for about 20 years, so I hope to earn some pity. What would you think about a trade involving T. Higgins for Kyle Pitts? Erotic joke.
Ooh. I like T. Higgins, but they got Boyd. And you're going to have to eventually get rid of either.
You can't hold both of them.
You can't keep Chase and Higgins.
This is not going to happen.
Yeah. If you can move him, if you can move him to Dallas, I don't necessarily know if Atlanta will come off Pitts. Now, there's an issue down there in Atlanta with Pitts. If you watch some of the breakdowns, my man is out there Cadillacing.
Is he?
Yeah, now he had a good game last weekend. I think his agent said, "Listen, if you want to get up out of here, we got to start putting up some numbers." So that could be a good trade.
Well, especially if he's not really putting up, it might be able to get him on the steal.
On the steal, but you're gonna have to pay a lot for him. If I'm Cincinnati and
I'm trying to root for you, Joe.
If I'm doing right, if I'm Cincinnati, if I'm moving Higgins, I know I got Boyd and I got some other receivers. I'm actually trying to trade for a tight end and maybe not Pitts, and then try to get a young offensive lineman in there too as well. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or a slot receiver. Try to get 2 for 1, or get a higher draft pick, say 2nd round pick or something like that you don't have to pay that 5th year option. And that could kind of turn into a Higgins, because that's what Higgins was. Mm-hmm. If they do that, they'll be on their way. But the biggest thing for them is keep getting Joe Burrow healthy and I want to see this running game come up with Mixon. That gives the defense, because that defense is serious. And you get that defense going, and they start to get healthy, and they
can turn around second half.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
You got Joe Shiesty and them dudes.
Cigar Joe.
Yeah. But he needs to get it going.
He needs to get healthy, though.
Yeah.
There it is. Good breakdown here on the block on a Wednesday. Not a wild Wednesday, but a wonderful Wednesday, because now we're going to turn it over to Old School and let them break it down even further. What y'all going to talk about today, you think, man? Just going to dig in, since it's an off and bye week for the Huskers this week.
Right. We're going to do some picks, right? We're going to get our picks in early because we might have high school football tomorrow on Friday. We're going to do Big Ten picks, college picks, NFL picks. And then we got Rocky Russo coming in from the Stars or calling in at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. So we're jam-packed.
There it is.
Hockey season starting, man.
And look at that, man. The sun's even popping out. Right on time.
Right on time
look
for
at
you.
that, man.
That's
there
your
it
new
is.
nickname.
Right on time,
Eric
Stricky.
Sunshine Strickland.
But we'll see y'all mañana tomorrow. I don't know if the original OG is going to be with me. I don't know who I got, but it's all good. We going to still be here right here on the block tomorrow, 2 to 4. Peace.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.